We've got a number of emails. We're going to get right to them in just a moment, but we had one point that we want to address that came up in the first segment. And Father, what was that you were asking about?
It's something Patricia mentioned earlier about, you know, a lot of us know the teaching, a lot of young people know the teaching, but they want to find the strength to live it, you know, with all the temptations out there. What is key to finding that strength?
Giving in, giving up, realizing you don't have it and asking God to give it to you. Because if we could all be perfectly virtuous, then Christ wouldn't have had to die on the cross. But we're not, and chastity is a virtue. And if we want to obtain that in a way that brings joy, then it has to come from a surrender of your will and ask for God's will. For God's will for you is to be happy. That's something that took me a while to get. It's like, oh, you want me to actually be happy? Okay. You know, I was like, I always thought he was going to make me do something that was going to be painful and awful, but it's been the total opposite. An amazing adventure, like that lady was talking about, and about World Youth Day.
And your own story with this, can you want to share that with us about?
Okay. About 2 years ago, I came out of a relationship and I was a bit messed up, and inside, you know, on the outside everything was normal, working, friends, everything seemed to be functioning normally. But I was quite unhappy in myself and with the way I was turning out as a person. I realized I got very, very selfish and I didn't know what to do about it, and I realized if I leave this, by the time I'm 30, it's only going to be like 10 years worse, so I better do something now. So I went on pilgrimage. And I went to a place called Medjugorje. I'd been there when I was 17 too, and I went and I said, if anyone can help me, only God can, and I didn't even think he could. Anyway, it shows how much I know. And I went along, and when I got there, I was thinking about this, you know, how am I going to be different? How do you change? And I realized that I couldn't change. It was impossible, like I can't change, but nothing's impossible to God. So I said, you go for it. You change me, because I need to change and I can't do it. I don't know where to start. Please, here's my heart, here's my life. I'll do whatever you want me to do, because all of my plans have led me nowhere but more unhappiness. So you must have got a better one. I hoped. And I still wasn't even that hopeful, you know. Anything had to be better. And in a week, everything changed dramatically. And within months, I got this massive joy back. It was really quick. You know, but at the same time, it was slow as well. It's hard to describe that.
So you really got it down to some bare knuckles prayer, where you just looked at God and said, you know, take over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I try to do it every day. Sometimes I forget, but you know, I try.
So that's really the surrender that you're talking about, acknowledging I can't do this, God, you have to be the one to do it. But you've got to let go, to let God get inside the heart to make those changes.
Yeah, because we need him. We have to realize we are totally dependent on him. Every saint just going to tell you that, you know, and you're a child spiritually and physically your whole life. He's your father. Let him be your father. Let him look after you. And I'm learning more and more about that all the time. I don't have it down, as you can say over here, but I'm trying, you know, and that's what chastity is. It's striving. It's making that daily effort. I mean, that's what conversion is. I mean,
how has the Eucharist helped you in this journey? You mentioned that as well.
Well, I wouldn't be here without it. Adoration has become a daily part of my life, and Mass. Didn't start off that way though, because when I came back, he introduced you, like I said, he's gentle. He introduces you to things that are good for you slowly. You know, he weans you off the rubbish, the junk food, and starts filling you with the good stuff. And so I joined a prayer group. Youth 2000 was the first one, because I needed help to pray, because I knew I had to pray every day. One of the biggest things that hit me was, the reason why nothing's ever worked, I've never prayed every day in my life. I need to pray every day, and it was a massive realization for me. It's just praying every day, and that's free and easy. I can do that. So I tried, and it worked, and I found myself to go to a prayer group, and there was adoration, which was great, and there's other young people. And then people there were nagging me about pure in heart, and I was like, I don't like the sound of that. Plus, I'd actually heard Damien's talk. Damien and Rob were the two guys giving this talk in Medjugorje when I was there, and it was great, but I still thought it wasn't possible for me to be happy. So I was still, you know, it took me a while to get the confidence to trust God. Right. To trust God it was my challenge, my difficulty, I think, in life. And so slowly I was going to things, and then it turned out, like, you know, there'd be a Mass every so often. There was another prayer group I was at, and then I was having Mass like 3 times a week, and then 4 times. And then one day, my friend, who's a priest, who I've known since I was 17, I was talking to him, and I said, you know, Father Rory, I was thinking about starting to go to Mass every day. What do you think I should do? And he sort of went, what else is a priest going to say? Anyway, he said, you'll never go back. And I said, okay, I'll take that. And that's what I started to do. So, I mean, it's Jesus, right? I mean, God is love. And if you want to learn to love, if you want to be happy, you need to go to Him. And more and more you realize, the more you go, how real He is there. You know,
He's the source and the summit
absolutely.
of everything.